I never thought living alone would be this terrifying. When I left my hometown in Ohio to start college in upstate New York, the one thing I wanted more than anything was a single dorm. I grew up in a small house with 2 brothers, and privacy was something I never had. I had dreamed of closing a door and knowing it was just me on the other side. So when the housing office assigned me to East Hall, room 214, and I walked in to see only 1 bed, 1 desk, 1 dresser, I thought I had finally gotten lucky. The room was old, sure, the kind of place with squeaky pipes and chipped paint, but it was mine. For the first time in my life, I felt like I had a space of my own. The first week was fine. I went through orientation, found a couple of friends in my classes, and ate a lot of cafeteria food that tasted like damp cardboard. At night, I lay in bed and just enjoyed the silence. No snoring, no brother tossing and turning in the bunk above me. It felt like freedom. Then the little things started. The first was the toothbrush. One morning I walked into the bathroom and saw 2 toothbrushes on the sink. Mine was green. The other one was blue, worn down, frayed at the ends. I figured maybe I'd picked it up somewhere. Maybe they handed them out at the student fair and I forgot. I threw it away, but the next morning it was back. Same toothbrush, sitting right beside mine. A few days later I found socks in my dresser drawer. Grey socks, thin, with holes in the toes. I don't own grey socks. I don't even like them. I thought maybe someone on the floor was messing with me, some kind of freshman prank. I even asked my RA about it. He laughed and said, "People do that stuff all the time, man. Don't worry about it." But I did worry, because every time I cleaned my room, more things appeared. A t-shirt I didn't own, folded under mine. Shoes pushed halfway under the bed, and then came the handwriting. It was in my psych notebook. I was sitting in class, flipping through when I froze. There were words I didn't write. The handwriting slanted, neat but shaky. Whole sentences stared back at me. He doesn't see me. He never sees me. My fingers trembled as I turned the page. More writing. I used to live here. I want to be remembered. Stop throwing my things away. I slammed the notebook shut. I didn't stay in class. I didn't want to be around anyone. That night, I tore the room apart. I checked under the bed, in the closet, behind the dresser. Nothing. No one. I went to my RA again, this time more serious. He looked at me differently, almost uneasy. Then he said, "You're in 214, right? That room's had issues before. Just try not to think about it." That didn't help. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I ordered a cheap camera online and set it up on my desk, pointing at the door and my bed. I figured if someone was sneaking in at night, I'd catch them. The first night, nothing. Just me rolling around in my sheets. The second night, though, when I checked the footage the next morning, my blood ran cold. At exactly 3:27 a.m., the door creaked open. No one walked in. The door just opened wider, like something invisible slipped inside. Then on the desk, my notebook flipped open. The pages turned slowly. Then a pencil lifted off the desk, lifted, and words started scratching onto the paper all by themselves. I turned the video off. My stomach churned, my skin felt cold. I didn't want to see anymore, but I had to. That night I sat on my bed with the notebook in my lap. The camera blinked red, recording again. I whispered, "If you're here, just tell me what you want." For a while, nothing happened. The radiator clicked, the building groaned, and I felt stupid for even speaking. Then the page rustled. The pen scratched slowly, painfully, like someone struggling to write. "I live here too." I dropped the notebook. My throat felt tight. "Who are you?" I whispered. The pen moved again. "Your roommate." The next day, I couldn't focus on anything. Not class, not lunch, not the people laughing around me. All I could think about was that notebook. That night, I went to the library. I dug through old newspapers on microfilm until my eyes burned. I didn't know what I was looking for until I found it. In 1987, a freshman named Daniel Price lived in East Hall. Room 214. The article was short, clinical, the kind of story that gets buried on page 3. He was quiet, didn't have many friends. One winter night, he hung himself in his closet. His roommate left mid-semester. After that, the room was often left empty. When I went back to my dorm, I sat in the dark with the notebook open. "Daniel," I whispered. The pen moved immediately. "Yes, you remember." At first, it almost felt like he was just lonely, like he wanted someone to know he existed. He wrote messages at night. "Thank you for keeping me company. I don't like being forgotten." But slowly, the tone shifted. "Stop going out at night. You don't need other friends. This room is ours. Don't leave." It was like having a jealous, possessive shadow. I started finding his belongings everywhere. A wallet with his student ID inside. His name, his picture, smiling faintly like he was still alive. The more I tried to ignore it, the stronger he became. Doors slammed when I tried to leave. Lights flickered when I mentioned moving. I begged the housing office for a transfer, but they told me East Hall was full. No options, no escape. That night, I made a choice. I set the camera up again, but I didn't sleep. I sat on the edge of my bed, notebook open, pen in place. At 3 a.m., the air in the room turned ice cold. My breath fogged in front of me. The pen scraped violently. "Don't leave me." My chest heaved. "Daniel, you're dead. You have to move on." The pen stopped. Then the words slashed across the page in huge, violent strokes. "If you leave, I go with you." And the closet door swung open. Inside was darkness, deeper than shadows should be. The rod swayed slowly, creaking. Then I saw him. A figure hanging there, limp, head tilted, rope cutting into his neck. His eyes snapped open, glowing pale, fixed on me. I couldn't scream. My body locked up, frozen in place. The figure twitched, then dropped. It hit the floor with a heavy thud. But when I blinked, the closet was empty again. The only thing left was the notebook on the ground, open to one final line. "You saw me. Now you can't forget." I moved out the next morning. I didn't ask permission. I dragged my suitcase into a lounge and slept on the couch until they reassigned me to another hall. But leaving didn't fix it. Daniel didn't stay in room 214. Now, in my new dorm, I wake up to grey socks tucked in my dresser, my toothbrush replaced with his, my notebooks filled with that same slanted handwriting. He isn't tied to the room anymore. He's tied to me. And every night at 3:27 a.m., I feel him sit on the edge of my bed, my roommate, the one no one remembers but me.